This is the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation, hosted by Andy Pickering.
Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. I'm your host and welcome to the Crypto Conversation, a Brave New Coin podcast where we talk to the people building the future in the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Good news, team. We have an exciting new sponsor here at the Crypto Conversation, and well, they are perfectly positioned for today's changing investment environment. Because with market volatility so high and the expected returns for stocks and bonds so low, I tend to agree with the analysts at JP Morgan who have declared that alternative assets are no longer optional. And that is good news for those platforms who can provide access to the top alternative asset classes like Masterworks. Yes, Masterworks.io has solidified itself as the platform for investing in contemporary art. And Masterworks is on a mission to democratize art investing, which is a 1.7 trillion asset class. How do they do this? Well, Masterworks is the first platform to make it possible to purchase shares that represent an investment in multi-million-dollar artworks from iconic artists such as Banksy, Kaws, and Basquiat, all at a price point tailored to you. And since 2017, Masterworks has sold a number of iconic artworks, with each returning over 30% net IRR to investors. Legally, I have to follow that with past performance is no guarantee of future results. Now, if you want to get in early, just go to masterworks.art/cryptoconversations to skip their waitlist. That's masterworks.art/cryptoconversations. And you can see important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.io/CD. And now it's on with the show. My guest today is Nick Rose. Nick is the CEO and co-founder of Ethernity Chain, a leading new NFT issuing platform and marketplace for athletes and celebrities. I've had a good look around actually, and it looks very cool. So excited to dig into this with you today. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
All right. Well, Nick, to begin with, we'll do what we always do at the beginning of the show, which is get to know you personally a little bit better. So could you please just give us a little bit of an intro? Love to hear about your background and, leading up to Web3 and what you guys are building with Ethernity.
Sure. So my name is Nick Rose. I'm the founder and CEO of Ethernity Chain, Ethernal Labs. I've personally been in crypto for about 11 years now. Got into Bitcoin back in 2011, and I've always been very curious and very interested on how can we build using blockchain technology. So I've done multiple investments myself, and with Ethernity now, we built our own company and our own studio that we can build things on the Web3 ecosystem. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. And so, yeah, I have been looking, as I say, at Ethernity, and it does look really cool. So it's, as I understand it, effectively what you guys have built is a platform and a marketplace. And one of the differences is that it features, well, effectively NFTs, but they're verified from, really well-known artists or sports stars, celebrities, if you like, but from across all the kind of, different sports, music, film, gaming, history, technology. So everyone from, I'll let you talk about the kind of the caliber of the people that are involved. But yeah, to bring us up to speed, I guess, what is Ethernity and how did it come together? What's the origin story, Nick?
Yeah, so the origin story is, I'm a collector myself. I love art, physical art. I saw NFTs for the first time back in 2017 with the launch of CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties. I got really, really interested on digital assets right away. I was always interested because when I was younger, I was a gamer, right? Obviously, those Web2 assets were not in the blockchain, right? But I was really interested always into how can you buy a skin for a weapon or an armor for a game, and how can you sell it and make money from it, right? But without using blockchain technology wasn't the case, because the company actually owns those skins. And if the company goes bankrupt tomorrow, you get to lose everything you own, right? So the discovery and of the use case of ERC 721 tokens and non-fungible tokens was very eye-opening to me. And I really, really got excited. And that's how the Ethernity idea came to be. I called a very good developer who's my co-founder. His name is Marcelo. He used to work for Facebook back then. And I mentioned, Marcy, how do we build something? And that's the idea. And that's how we started. So we started brainstorming for about 2 years. It took us about 2 to 3 years to come up with a name. And in 2020, we used my personal network of, my network goes deep in entertainment and sports. So we decided to go for all licensed IP and bring them in the blockchain and create collectibles, right? The same thing Tops was doing with sports cards, or whatever traditional artists are doing with art. We decided to go and do the same thing, but on a Web3 scale and on the blockchain.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, yeah, it's fascinating that, because there's kind of two different sectors to digital collectibles, shall we say, or NFTs. There's the kind of the NFT communities that you see on OpenSea. There's the kind of, I guess, the PFP communities, and then there's one of one's digital artworks that can be of by well-known artists, or just artists that are yet to be discovered, really. But then you've got these licensed digital collectibles, which I think is what you guys are doing, but they're still really creative and quite impressive, some of them. So that how did you, I imagine that's quite a difficult project to pull together, because you've got to work with the actual the stars, if you like, these people and their teams, and then you've got to convince them that NFTs are a kind of a viable opportunity for them. I guess that's why it took 2 years, right, Nick?
Correct. And to add something on that it's actually not. When you break down how digital art on the blockchain works, only the royalty, the royalty function that you can be earning royalties on your collectibles. I think it's a pretty good pitch for anyone. It doesn't matter if your name is Michael Jordan or Nike, or you're just a smaller athlete or an actor or a brand, right? You can't do that with physical assets. The moment you sell them, you lose complete control, and there is secondary markets that you don't make any royalties from, right? The blockchain solves this. So I think the hardest part was in the start to explain to people how blockchain technology works. And the moment we were done with that, it was easy after. I'll give you an example. When we did the Leo Messi Partnership, and because we own the rights for his first NFTs ever, we did about 3.4 million in one day. We just cut the guy, him and his team, another check, that all from secondary sales and royalties, right? That's something he can't do with physical collectibles.
Yeah, that is exactly right, and I'm sure, yeah, you're correct. That is a very strong selling point for people. So talk through. So you talked about Messi, then one of the biggest football players in the world. Talk through some of the other, I guess, high-profile artists, stars, celebrities, whatever you want to call them. Some of the different projects that you guys have worked with on Ethernity.
Yeah, we call them notable figures and brands.
Thank you. I was searching for something like that, Nick, but I was stuck on celebrities, which is just a terrible
word. Yeah, we hate the word. We hate the word celebrity. We never use it. But sure. I mean, we've worked with Shaquille O'Neal. We've worked with the Muhammed Ali estate. We worked with Bruce Lee estate, the Marilyn Monroe estate. We've worked with Tony Hawk. We've worked with Fernando Tatis, who's a pretty good baseball player in the United States. We are also looking at brands. We have a few pretty big partnerships with brands that we're about to announce the next couple of weeks. But yeah, individuals was our way in. Data show that people get more attached to individuals than brands. But like I said, that was our starting point. It was our first year in the market. We had a great year in terms of growth and in terms of growth. Like I said, we have our own token as well. It's trading everywhere. Coinbase, Binance. It's a community token, so the community can exchange NFTs and assets by getting access holding the token. But yeah, working with individuals with big names was the entry point. Now we're going to go further and start doing brand deals as well.
Yeah, so look, we'll talk about the token because that's quite interesting. But I guess tell me how Ethernity works as a marketplace. So is this like a closed marketplace? Do all the NFT collections exist in the Ethernity ecosystem only, or are they like available on, for example, OpenSea or LooksRare or anywhere else as well? How does that all work?
So I wouldn't say closed. We're a curated marketplace, right? Nobody can. If you go to OpenSea, you're an artist. You can create your own collection, mint your own NFTs, and sell them to your community or your followers or your fans. Ethernity is a curated marketplace, meaning we choose what NFTs and which artists are going to create them. We did that from an aesthetic perspective. We wanted to make sure everything looks the way we want them to look and how we envision them to look. But that being said, the NFTs we're selling on Ethernity can be found in multiple other marketplaces as well. We are fully verified on OpenSea. You can find our NFTs on LooksRare and other marketplaces. I think marketplaces working with each other is only good for the Web3 space and the whole community, because there shouldn't be any borders or limits or any restrictions on where you can trade, right? You might like the NFT, the Ethernity interface, the Ethernity NFTs, but you like the OpenSea interface more. So you shouldn't, the royalties are still there. Like Messi will still get paid. The Muhammed Ali estates will still get paid, right? Doesn't matter where you trade. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's right, Nick, because ultimately it's about you want to have your digital collectibles available for sale and in front of as many eyes as possible. That is, and there should be no borders to that, right?
Exactly.
How does it work? Like, because you've done all these incredible high-profile collaborations with, what did you say? Notable personalities.
Yeah.
So how does and feel free to use an example of one of the projects that you're either you're most proud of or was the most challenging or something like that. But because there's how do you come up with kind of like who the digital artist is going to be, how that collaboration works? Does the notable personalities team have input into that? Because it must be quite a it's a unique creative challenge for each one of these projects.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. We have a whole artist department. We have an art director who suggests artists. I'm personally very involved on the creative part of the company, but like I said, the brands or licensors team has an opinion as well, and we love working with them, right? Because the most important thing is that we want everybody to like the creative, right? Usually the way it works is we have a few suggestions, which artists we want to work with. We take them to their teams, and the teams agree, and there is creative collaboration. There is actual creative collaboration. The artist gets to collaborate with the individual and produce something together. So it's authentic. It's not something that we did and we sell, and the actual notable figure doesn't even know how it looks, right? We want this to be very authentic. So there is an actual collaboration between all parties.
Yeah, that makes sense. You mentioned the Earn token, which I suppose is the community token that ties it all together. I imagine there's all sorts of incentives and rewards. How does that all work?
Sure. So we have a DeFi aspect as well. So right. The token, the main purpose of the token is a community token. You want to have a big community that feels that they belong somewhere, and we use our own token for access and purchases for now. And actually, we were using Ethereum for a while, but now we're fully switched at ERN, which is our native token and my native token. The community loves it. The community loves feeling that they belong somewhere, and that's how community building works, right? You get a lot of perks having Earn. You get access to things internal, even Zoom calls with the team. You get access to merch. You get access to mystery boxes. You get access to a lot of things you wouldn't if we didn't have a token. And it gets the community more engaged and more excited about the project. There's people that's been with us for about a year now. They've been holders since day one. And, the community keeps growing. We have about 30,000 holders plus, at least in decentralized wallets. I don't even know how many we have in centralized included. It should be way more. There's no way to find out. But yeah, it's a very helpful tool to get the community engaged. But like I said, there's a DeFi aspect as well. We have LP staking. You can contribute on our liquidity pools and get paid for doing so. You can stake long term and earn more that will allow you access to even more things in the future. We now have NFT staking. We're launching this amazing collectible. We call it the Satoshi Card, that the moment, if you are lucky enough and you get it from the mystery box, because that's the selling mechanism we're using, it will pay you about 3,400 earn a year, which is around 20,000 USD a year, which is pretty cool. That's life-changing numbers for some people. Because like I said, our main focus is we're not really focusing in the United States for now. Our biggest fan base and our biggest user base is Europe and Asia.
Oh, it is, right. And well, that sounds absolutely fascinating what you're talking about there, Nick. So, I can see on your website you do have this DeFi component. So there's liquidity pools, and you can stake your earn and your NFTs. So, and there's farm stones. I don't know what the farm stones are. So where is all this heading then? So what is the vision? What are you sort of building? I guess it's like an ecosystem that is just going to incentivize more and more people to come in and even like gamify and stake their assets and just keep earn, right?
Yeah, I think even more high quality drops and high quality access to things. We're launching an amazing project that's called the Exorians Universe. It's our own brand that we built. We're starting with a profile photo project. We will sell the characters to the community. We want the community to own their own characters, but eventually this will become a game. I don't know if you're aware, but we just did a $20 million equity raise from multiple VCs and notable individuals. And the focus on that was expand our products and expand our offerings and grow the community. And the video game is number one for us. We want to build the first AAA quality game on the blockchain.
Yeah, okay. So I did see that you did a fund raise. So that was led by Michael Rubin and the founder of League of Legends, Thomas Vu, as I understand it. So that's part of the funding for this game and what you call Ethernal Labs, right? Which is more, what's that like?
Correct. Ethernal Labs is the parent company that will release all the products. Ethernity is the technology company that has the underlying technology, the smart contracts, the developers that's building everything, right? And Ethernal Labs is all the crazy lab scientists that working on ideas, innovation, and find new products to use on the blockchain. And we have so much stuff on the pipeline that we'll be releasing the next couple of years.
It says, so at the moment you've worked with all these notable personalities from, sports, entertainment, music, and so on. But you say you have avatars coming soon. So
correct. We do. And if you go on our Twitter, Ethernity Chain, or Exorians, EXORINS, you will see we revealed how the avatars will look a few weeks ago, and there's been a lot of excitement, and the community is growing big time on that. There is some big names behind that, because we are bringing on board a few massive names from the entertainment industry that will help us with the story and the voiceovers, but we're writing a whole story. We will do comics for the first 2 years, and eventually till the game is ready, because a real game takes time. I would assume the game will take us another two more years to be ready, but comics and a lot of other fun stuff will come for the Exorians universe.
Okay, so explain the Exorians a little bit more. So I'm looking at them now, and they're kind of like these.
So imagine imagine Star Wars or Dune, imagine one of those stories, right? If you were to compare them to, obviously I'm not trying to say that this is the same level yet, but Dune was one of the best stories ever, if you ever read the books. And now it became a movie. It took about 30 years for this to happen. It's not a game. It's just a very successful book and a film, a very successful film. What we're trying to do is, what we're doing actually, we're not trying to do is, we wrote the story. We're writing the story. We already wrote the first season. We created all the characters, all the storyline, the script, even the planets. Is all the names are built from scratch internally. So we're building our own brand, right? It's called the Exorian universe with its own heroes and its own stories. So what are we going to do is we're building everything on Web3. We will give ownership to the community. We'll sell the characters to them, right? And we will start releasing the story, right? We're releasing the manifesto today, I think, which explains a little bit where this is coming and what is it. And our long-term plans are public, so I can tell you is we want to create a Fortnite-like game, but on Web3 with everything NFT'd, all armors, weapons, all the gameplay to be on the blockchain. So the community can own their own weapons and their own items and their own assets, which they can trade after to any marketplace they want to. Obviously, OpenSea, Ethernity, Coinbase NFT, we'd like them to be available everywhere. But in the long run, our plans is to create more. It's to maybe a comic book. We're working on a comic book, right? Let's show the community what this is about, why this is fun, why this is different, right? Because we are very excited with the story we've came up with. It's not only me. There is a big team behind this project. That's artists, writers, individuals that have a lot of experience on the entertainment industry. And how do we get entertainment people to get involved as well? And I can't reveal that yet, but we get you should be ready for a very big announcement. Somebody from an entertainment industry that's done Marvel films will be fully involved with the project.
Wow. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of the next big opportunity that so many people in Web3 are chasing, really. It is that, AAA kind of game experience, but in a Web3 setting where you can trade and own your own assets and identity, really. So that's what you're going after, right?
Correct.
Very nice, very nice. All right. Well, just before we go to a quick break and then we'll come back, we'll finish off with the very famous crypto conversation hot take around. Just quickly tell people, Nick, where they should go and what they should do if they want to start to get involved with the Ethernity ecosystem.
Ethernity.io, you should create an account there, Ethernity.io, and you should join our communities. Everybody's super friendly, and they love helping new people and new members. You should follow our Twitter, Ethernity Chain, our Instagram, Ethernity. My personal Twitter is I am Nick Rose. You should follow and join the community, see if you like it, and stick around. There's a lot of fun things coming up.
All right. And just before we do that, actually, Nick, I had in my notes, some of the kind of environmental, philanthropic work that you've been doing, like with Rewild, that kind of stuff. Do you want to just briefly talk to that?
Sure, I'd love to. So Rewild is an amazing organization that's managed by a very good friend of mine, Wes Seacrest. I got involved with I have a little organization myself. It's called Oxygen 7. It's way smaller. But back in 2019, I consider myself an environmentalist my whole life. I've been doing things under the radar, from planting trees to donating to missions in Africa, Australia, South America, Europe, for forest restoration mostly, because I love the mountains and I love nature. But I got heavily involved back in 2019 with the Amazon wildfires in Brazil and Bolivia, when I started a little social media campaign and it went viral. Lots of notable figures retweeted it and reposted it on Instagram. If you Google it, you can find a lot about it. And, the world wasn't aware that the Amazon was on fire. And after I made that post, there was about 2 million reposts and retweets. So it ended up being a huge deal in the world, even CNN. I went actually to Brazil first and Bolivia after. There was nobody down there. It was only my mission down there, trying to help the firefighters and do things. And eventually, you know, we saw missions from all over the world, but, you know, we do think we started that. And that's what got me really involved with them. Rewild was the number one organization that supported the cause and helped with funding and helped with sending aid to those countries and those communities. So I ended up being an advisor within the company, and you know, we did after the Australia wildfires campaign, and you know, anything that comes up, you know, we're planning to do more things in the Bahamas with mangroves restoration. In Kenya, we went in Kenya back in 2020 for another reforestation project there. But you know, like I said, I don't have a lot of time right now these days with work, but whenever I can, I'm trying to do stuff for the environment.
Yeah, fascinating, Nick. And well, then, if that's the case, you know, you'll be only too well aware that there's this, I suppose, mainstream perception of, you know, crypto NFTs, proof of work, the impact on the environment. Some of it is fair, some of it is less fair. How do you think about all that?
Yeah, I strongly disagree. None of these people that claiming that actually using the blockchain is more harmful than using real assets is actually true. There is no real research out there from reputable institutions to claim that. So, and actually I'm doing something about that. I'm actually putting 2 independent teams together, and I'm funding this myself to actually go and do real research and see how bad is proof of work for the environment compared to printing real money or compared to creating real art. What's more harmful, minting an NFT on the blockchain or painting something on a piece of paper, attaching it to a wood frame, and every time you sell it, you have to mail it with a plane to each country, to each seller? What's more harmful, really, right? So we don't know. I don't know. I just, that's my opinion. I'm more than open if I'm wrong to change my opinion publicly, but we'll see. I'm really looking forward on this study and research to find out the real energy consumption of the blockchain.
Well, I'm with you, Nick, and I think there's, you know, there's a very much a growing awareness and realization that that Bitcoin mining proof of work is going to allow anyone, whether it's a nation state or a corporation or oil miners, for example, but just anyone who has an energy source, even in the remotest parts of the world, it enables them to monetize those, and often they're renewable energy sources. And so I think there's lots of projections that say that Bitcoin mining can actually hasten the world's you know, transition to renewable energy.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to that break, and then we'll come back. We'll finish off with the very famous Crypto Conversation Hot Take Round.
Here's what's being said about Masterworks.
My name is Jacob N. I'm from Long Island, and I've invested over $73,000 with Masterworks. My portfolio performance just wasn't cutting it. I researched all these alternative investments, like crypto and NFTs, but they didn't make sense to me. Then I read about Masterworks in Forbes, and I signed up right away. And now you can too. Thanks, Masterworks.
Get VIP access at masterworks.io and use promo code JACOB. See important disclosures at masterworks.io/DC.
All right, we're back, and I'm with Nick Rose. Nick is the CEO and co-founder of Ethernity, the very interesting NFT issuing platform and marketplace for notable personalities. Nick, I like to finish each podcast with a quick round of rapid-fire crypto conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, Nick, where would you say you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Ooh, leave us alone. No, I'm not. Listen, everyone is needed. I'm not a maximalist in anything. I'm open-minded. I think let's stay open-minded and explore every new technology that's coming out there. And we should not be acting like boomers, and we should be open-minded. That's what I have to say to them.
I love it. Yes, don't be a boomer, be open-minded. Very good advice. What would you say then, Nick, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
Say that again.
What is your firmest conviction, crypto opinion?
I think blockchain is the future. For many, many reasons. Freedom of speech, owning your own assets, being fully decentralized. So I think blockchain is the future. It's a simple quote I've been saying for years. Yeah, that's it.
Very nice. All right, well, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can achieve in 2 years and underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. So with that in mind, Nick, you know, anything you like here, but so Exorians or Ethernity or just NFTs in general, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
Yeah, I fully agree. The Ethernity was always a 10-year project for us, right? And the Exorians is a 20-year project because it's not easy to build a brand. Brands are being built with generations, right? One generation falls in love with the story. That's where you test the brand. Will the next generation fall in love with the story? Like, look at Star Wars. It's not my generations, but I'm in love with the story because it's a great story. So building your own brand and a story takes 20, 30 years. So it's a long process, which I love, right? And, you know, after us, there might be some other people that will take over and will make it even better. And that's what I like. And on Ethernity, you know, Ethernity, 10 years, I see us owning or licensing a very big amount of IPs and licenses, either brands or individuals, and having a massive library of authenticated collectibles, NFTs, comics, and, you know, the community can go back and enjoy the earliest Messi NFT ever. In 10 years, Messi will be 45 years old, and he's the best player of our generation, if not of all time, right? So, you know, he created his first collectible with Ethernity, so it's a pretty big deal.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, well, Nick, William Gibson said that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. With that in mind, can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
Yeah, I could say that there is only, I don't know the exact percentages, but there is a very small amount in the world that uses crypto and blockchain technology right now. So the moment we're over 50%, I think that's the future right now. The moment you have half the world using the blockchain, if not more, but I'd say half the world is good enough to have a pretty educated world and society that knows how to benefit from the blockchain.
What year do you think that happens?
I don't know. I cannot predict the future just yet. But I say, I don't want to say something that's inaccurate, so I don't know. But I really hope it happens. It happens sooner than later.
Yeah. All right. Time to zoom out. Time to get a bit weird for a second, Nick. What do you see as the long-term future for the human race? Do you see dystopia or utopia?
Extinction. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, with current data, and I'm not very positive on how the future will look. I really hope for the best, but I'm not really positive for what the world will look in 200-300 years from now. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, no.
Yeah. All right. And finally, Nick, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, TV show, or universe?
Dune is the book. Star Wars is the film. I love Interstellar as well, so let's add it there. And obviously the Marvel universe is fun, but nothing like Dune and Star Wars.
Yeah, very good, very good. Awesome. This has been excellent. Really enjoyed talking to you today. Nick, nothing else to say except hand the microphone back to you. Tell the people where they should go to find you on Twitter, and again, how they should get involved with what you guys are building with Ethernity and the Exorians.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much for having me. Like I said, Ethernity.io, you guys can create an account, join our communities. Twitter, Ethernity Chain, Instagram, Ethernity, and my personal Instagram and Twitter is I am Nick Rose. So come follow me there.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
All right, there you go. That was Nick Rose from Ethernity. Yeah, quite an exciting looking NFT marketplace for, as we've learnt, notable personalities issuing digital collectibles on the blockchain. And the Exorians sounds very ambitious. So it'd be fascinating to see if they can build out that that Web3 Exorian IP with a game, film, cartoon, comic strip, all that good stuff. All right, thanks for listening, team. That was today's show. See you next time. Thanks for listening. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave